Today I want to talk about the 2006 Amy Winehouse song, You Know I'm No Good, from the album Back to Black. It's obviously we are adapting here. We're playing it on acoustic guitar, so the intro, there's this bass line, doom 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 doom, and we want to emulate that, so we play a D minor chord, and then we play the bass line by playing open A string, C, so the third fret on the A string, and I'm using the pinky for the C sharp to go a half step, go up a half step. So we play D minor, and then two open A strings, and then go back to the D minor chord. Now we can do this. To get us started, we can play 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So I play the D string on the 1, the fingers of my right hand play the D minor, the rest of the strings of the D minor chord. So 1, 2, and then my thumb plays the A string, 2, and then C on 4 and C sharp on 4, and so it's 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. And now to make it a little, if you've got this figured out, to make it a little more crispy and funky, we add an upstroke on the A of 2. So and that's what makes it sound like the bass, like this. So that boom ba ba, and then we want to emulate that, so we play 1, 2. So we do this little upstroke before we play the rest, which is similar to what I said before. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 and a, 4 E and a. And that's is a little tricky in the beginning, but makes it really funky when you get the hang of it. So it's 1, 2, and 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. Let me slow that down. So it's 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 and 4 and 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 and 4 and 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 and a, 4 E and a. Next, we want to look at the verse, and it's 4 songs, so you need a little more advanced chords for this because we play a G minor chord. So we are in D minor actually still. So the first chord is the D minor chord, and we pick it, so we pluck the strings from the D string to the E string, using 4 fingers. So we place, and that's very common, we place the fingers, which are not the thumb, on the lower 3 strings, and the thumb on the D string in that case, which is our, we are in the key of D, right? D minor. So that's our root. So we play these fingers one after the other, right? So D string, G string, B string, E string. And that is on the count of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we play a G minor chord, which is a bar chord. It's an E minor bar chord, so similar to your standard, some people play it like this or like this, to your standard E minor chord, but we use the bar technique, so we use the first finger as a bar, move it up to the 3rd fret, so E, F, F sharp, G, so we have a G minor chord. So 3rd fret, E string, G string, B string and E string, and we place small finger, 5th fret of the D string, ring finger, 5th fret of the A string, and that it's kind of hard to show, but that gives us the bar chord of the E minor chord, but on the 3rd fret, so it's a G minor chord. And now what we change here is the right hand. So we have the right hand on the lowest string, so we play thumb on the E string, index finger on the A string, middle finger on the D string, ring finger on the G string. Now this allows us to play the G minor chord, but we hear the B flat as the highest note because that's the 3rd fret on the G string. The next chord is the A major standard chord. It's 3 fingers in the 2nd fret, so ring finger, 2nd fret of the B string, middle finger, 2nd fret of the G string, and index finger, 2nd fret of the D string. Now we have the right hand fingers on the inner strings, so the thumb is on the A string, index finger D string, middle finger G string, and ring finger B string, and that sounds like this. And then we return to the D minor chord. So the right hand does all the melody work here. The left hand only plays the required chords, and the progression is D minor, G minor, A major, back to D minor. And then if we want to loop that, we'll start again with the D minor chord. So it's a 4-chord progression that starts on the D minor and ends on the D minor. So the first and last bar is D minor. So let me play the whole thing for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 from the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the straight rhythmic repetition in the melody was a little boring, so I changed things up a little bit. This is now creative interpretation, it's not original, right? So but here's something you could play around with to make it a little more interesting for you when you're playing it. And what I did is I played so into that rest, or where we just let the strings ring in the original, I played. So I placed a quarter note on the end of 2, so we have that rhythmic similarity to the original, but then we do a little bit of melody in the remaining part of the bar. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the end of 3, 4 and we play middle finger, index finger, middle finger. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the fingers are placed in the same location where they were placed in the original, but we add a little bit of texture to it. With the G minor chord, I played even less, so I played just up and down again, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So just go thumb, index, middle, ring finger, and then back, middle, index, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then with the A major chord, I play the exact same rhythmic pattern with right hand, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we have that middle finger, index finger, middle finger again. And then we return to the D minor chord and we do what we did on the G minor chord. So if we play the whole thing, it's would start. If we wanted to loop that more embellished part, we would start again here. Next I want to show you the pre-chorus, and it's interesting because there's a harmonic shift happening here. So we start on the G minor chord as we played it before, but we now want to play all the way up to the B string, so we want to play. And for our right hand to be able to do that with the flow and utilize all the fingers, obviously you could do, but what I want to do is I want to use all my fingers, so I will place the 3 fingers that are not the thumb on D, G and B string, and the thumb will play E and A string. So it's quite a nice movement. So it's thumb, thumb, index, middle, ring finger. And now we move to the E major chord. So your standard E major, first index finger, first fret of the G string, ring finger, second fret of the D string, and middle finger, second fret of the A string. We want to hear E, A, D, G, not the B string, but the high E string. And in order to play that, I suggest playing thumb, 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 then index finger, ring finger. So I stay true to that technique of placing the 3 fingers next to one another on neighboring strings, but now here we do some thumb work, so I do the middle finger doesn't do anything, but it's still in place, so we get used to that, to using these fingers. From there we go to an F chord. We can play the beginner or reduced F chord because we don't need a low F note here. So we can play mini bar on E and B string, middle and the first fret, middle finger, second fret of the G string, ring finger, third fret of the D string, and we want to play So we play 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and I listened to the song and I was like, there's like a slide happening. So you can obviously play this twice. There's nothing wrong with it, but I heard a slide going from the F to the A. So what I then tried in this, because all these chords in the pre-chorus, they are played twice except for the last two, but it's 2 bars of G minor, 2 bars of E major, and then 2 bars of F major. And so what I did with the second bar of the F major is, and then I slid to the 7th fret, so we can play kind of like a C major bar chord in the 5th fret. Would be F major, right? So listen to this. F major, same chord, right? So F major. So I slid with my ring finger, I play the F, and I slide to the A and play the same thing. So it's, and then, but that allows me to have that slide in there. So the ring finger slides from the 3rd fret, from the original F major position, to the 7th fret, and then we also have like a reduced, it's kind of like a D major shape. So the ring finger is 7th fret D string, index finger is on the 5th fret of the G string, and the middle finger's on the 6th fret of the B string, and that allows us to play the same notes that we play here on the F major chord. So one bar I play, and then I slide. I go. It's the same notes, but it's the different texture and a different style because we play that slide. And the way I play it is I pluck the F and then I move the ring finger to the 7th fret, and I'm already thinking about where I place the other fingers, right? So I visualize that in my head while I go. But I only pluck it here, and then the A is just slit, so I don't pluck it again. I go. And you can practice that, obviously. If you want to try that, then you can only play until you get the hang of that. So you slide from F to A, 3rd to 7th fret on the D string, and then you add the other notes to it. That is almost it. We end here with some strumming. We have 1 bar of an E major chord, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then A major, 1, 2, 3. And it's kind of a staccato sound. So what I do is I strum it and then immediately mute the strings with the right hand. So I go. I think the last chord maybe rings. I'm not sure. Let me play the whole pre-chorus for you. So it's 2 bars of G minor with that added D on the 3rd fret of the B string. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and switching to the E major chord where we have 3 thumbs, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now F major, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let me play it so you can listen to the music without any counting. brings us to the chorus. And it's interesting because that last the pre-chorus, as I said, there's something happening harmonically, and now we move to a different key. So before, the verse was in D minor. We are starting on the D minor chord, but an E7 is introduced here, and E7 is on the fifth position of the A scale, and the E7 is the dominant seventh chord. So they all tend towards a root, and the E7 tends and wants to go back to either E major or A minor, but it has a strong tendency to, so it's, we call these chords unstable because you wouldn't end here. They are resolved to either major or minor. That's why we are in a different key here, or you can tell that we're in a different key because of the E dominant seventh chord. So again, 4 chords, but we are not ending and beginning on the same chord, but we are playing four bars of chords, and we are playing D minor, A minor, and now we play E7 and then A minor again. So we are playing around this A minor chord. So D minor, A minor, E dominant 7, A minor. And again, the cool stuff is happening in the right hand. So similar to the chorus, we play, actually it's exactly the same, right? So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but now we play an A minor chord, so it's index finger on the first fret of the B string, ring finger on the second fret of the G string, and middle finger on the second fret of the D string. And here we play, again we use that multiple thumb technique, so we play thumb, thumb, index finger, and then end on middle and ring finger plucking or picking simultaneously. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let me play that again really slow. Thumb, thumb, index, and then middle and ring finger together. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The next chord is an E7 chord, and when I showed you the chords before, I played the standard chord. But if you listen to the song, you hear a high G sharp. So what I did here, I used a standard D7 chord, which is ring finger second fret of the E string, index finger first fret of the B string, and middle finger second fret of the G string, and I moved that up 2 frets. So it's D7, D sharp 7, and here we are on an E7 chord, and my right hand plays the lower E string and then the 3 strings at the bottom, right? So G, B, E string. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we return to the A minor. So let me play that whole section for you. So it's D minor as we played before, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A minor, double thumb, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E7, but in the 3rd fret as a D7 chord, played on the high strings, and we use the thumb for the low E string, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we return to the A minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 4, and. So let me play it so you can hear it. And what I did here to make it a little more interesting, in the second run I moved from the E7 chord to the 5th fret, and I played a actually that's part of an E minor bar chord, but only played on the high strings, and that allowed me to, and I think that's also in the original, to get a high E at the end, which I didn't get here with the standard chord. So I wanted to have that high A note on the high E string on the 5th fret. So I played a mini bar on the E, B and G string, and the ring fingers on the 7th fret of the D string. So that's another A minor chord, and I play again that double thumb technique. So I go A string, D string, G string, and then B and E together. So I would do that in the second round, right? Instead of returning to the standard A minor chord. So let me play the whole 8 bars for you. So it's starting again. Now to the 5th fret. And that's the chorus for you.